Why, hi there, I'm Ron Jeckett, and welcome to the Studebaker pregame show before we go to Chicago for the second game of our three-game set between the Montreal Expos and the Chicago Cubs. Let's take a look, as we will every Saturday and Sunday, at what happened the night before in baseball. As you saw here, the Montreal Expos got their first win of the year with a big 9-2 win over the Cubs. Milwaukee pounded out 5 runs and 17 hits as they crushed the Texas Rangers 11-5. Seattle, in their 9-8 loss to Minnesota, made 5 errors, and Atlanta beats San Diego 9-5. They pounded out 16 hits as they go to 3-0. Real quick, other scores. The Giants won their first of the year. They beat the Dodgers 6-5. California beat Oakland 9-6. Cincinnati goes to 3-0. They beat New York 2-1. Philadelphia in 12 beat Houston 9-7. The Pirates beat the Cardinals 4-3, and the Baltimore Orioles are undefeated. They beat Toronto 2-1. Baseball is next. On a rainy afternoon in Chicago, Box Score Communications presents Series of the Week. Today, from the not-so-friendly confines of Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs and the Montreal Expos. Why, hi there, I'm Ron Jeckett. A pleasure to be with you again as the Cubs and Expos get ready for the second of their three-game set this weekend, first weekend of the 1985 season. It's a rainy day here. There's not much wind. It's kind of like a misty Brigadoon type stuff, 59 degrees. If you were with us for yesterday's game, the Expos destroyed the Cubs 9-2 on Vince Law's big day, homer and 4 RBIs. So let's get right to it. Here's the Expos lineup today. Tim Raines leads off and will play left. Herm Whittingham, the center fielder, bats second. Andre Dawson, the right fielder, bats third. Nan Dreesen will be your first baseman. He bats fourth. Hubie Brooks will play short and bat fifth. Vance Law, the second baseman, bats sixth. Tim Wallach, the third baseman, bats seventh. Mike Fitzgerald is your catcher. He bats eighth. And Steve Rogers, who has started one game already this year, bats ninth. Scott Sanderson, who, as you can see, pitched for the Expos early on in his career, will pitch for the Cubs. And the defense around him, Gary Matthews in left, Bob Dernier in center, Keith Moreland in right. Matthews has a decent arm. Dernier below average, Moreland above average. Dernier the best range of the three. The infield, same as yesterday's game. Ron Say at third, Sean Dunston at short, Ryan Sandberg at second, and Leon Durham at first. Jody Davis, who had a solo homer yesterday, is the catcher, and Scott Sanderson will make his first appearance of the year. 3.12 was his ERA in the real 85 season, with a record of 5-6. In 121 innings, he scattered 100 hits, 13 homers, walked 27, and struck out 80. So there you go. That's the particulars as we get ready for day baseball on the north side. Tim Raines, what a day he had yesterday. 4 hits and 3 stolen bases. He's now at 7 for 14 on a year. 500, no homers, and 1 RBI. Cubs play the bunt. He swings, flies to left center. Dernier is there, 1 out. That'll bring up Herm Whittingham. Herm has struggled out of the gate. 1 for 11, 091. Grounds to third. Say throw to first in time, 2 out. Andre Dawson, the batter. Not a great week so far. 2 for 11, 182. But he does have a homer and an RBI. And he flies a single into left center, so he is on with 2 out. The first hit of the ballgame. Dan Dreesen, the batter. Dan's off to a very good start. 455, 5 for 11, a homer, and 4 RBIs. He flies one to right. Moreland's there, and that's the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 1/2 of 1 inning, no score. Steve Rogers, sadly for him, this would have been the end of the line. In the real season, 5.68 ERA with a 2-4 record, 38 hits, 38 innings pitched, 51 hits, walked 20 and struck out 18. I mean, for a long time, he was the ace of the staff through their great years at the end of the 70s and early 80s. On opening day, He did not get a decision. 1.50 was the ERA, 6 innings, 4 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 4. And he should be good for 115. The lineup that he will face is Bob Dernier. Leading off, Ryan Sandberg will bat second. Gary Matthews bats third. Leon Durham bats fourth. Keith Moreland, who hit the solo shot yesterday, bats fifth. Ron Say bats sixth. Jody Davis, who hit a solo shot yesterday, hits seventh. Sean Dunston is at short and bats eighth. And Scott Sanderson, who should be good for about 110 pitches, will bat ninth. So with all the particulars in place, we'll set up the defense for you. Forgot to do that. Timmy Raines in left, Herm Whittingham in center, Andre Dawson in right. Dawson, the best of the bunch, range-wise, above average. Raines has the best arm. Whittingham is average. The infield, same as yesterday. Timmy Wallach at third, Hubie Brooks at short, Vance Laud at second, Dan Dreesen at first, and Mike Fitzgerald behind the plate. They want Dernier to butt. He will swing, and he singles to center. Ground ball up the middle, and the Cubs start this one off with a single. That'll bring up Ryan Sandberg. The Cubs have not stolen a base this year. He goes, the throw. Be safe. Famous last words. Remember, the announcer, that'd be me, plays the home team unless it's the Red Sox, and the computer plays the visitors. So nobody out for Sandberg on a one-ball count. Rhino is 1 for 12, 083, and he had a great year in 85. No homers and no RBIs. The pitch, there's a base hit. Whittingham has it. Dernier will turn and hold. The chances were less than 50-50. So runners in the corners, nobody out for Gary Matthews, who was hitting 400. 4 for 10 with an RBI. The pitch, there's a ground ball up the middle. Base hit. Dernier scores. Sandberg goes to second. And Matthews scratches out for a double. Just kind of speed. Whittingham kind of hesitated for a second, and the Cubs are on the board, 1-0. For Leon Durham, runners on second and third. Durham, 231 on the year. No homers and an RBI. The pitch. Ground ball, base hit. Sandberg scores. Matthews will hold. Durham stops at first. So runners on the corners from Moreland, there's still nobody out, and the Cubs have put 2 on. Moreland, with the solo shot yesterday, one of his 2 hits on the year, is now at 182. A homer and no RBI. And he grounds one to second. They will try for 2 here. They're going to let Matthews score. Law flips to Brooks for 1 to throw to first in time. 2 for the price of 1. It's 3-0 Chicago, but they got 2 badly needed outs in Montreal. Ryan Say the better. Ron at 364, a homer, and 3 RBIs. And Say grounds a single between the hole, between third and short, and he is on 5 hits for Rogers. Jody Davis, 2 for 9 on the year, 222, 2 homers and 3 RBIs. And he grounds one deep to Brooks, who flips to Law at second for the force. But not, so that's the inning, not before the Cubs score 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors, 1 in the books. Chicago 3, Montreal nothing. And now for Scott Sanderson, as Hubie Brooks comes to the plate. He's got a lead. His offense is producing for him. Things are pretty much in control. It's up to him to keep it that way if you're a Cubs fan. Brooks, 250 on the year, 3 for 12 with a homer and 2 RBIs. And there's a pop-up. Durham moves over in the hole and makes the grab. 1 out. Vance Law, 4 RBIs yesterday. Moves up to 5 now on the year. 636. Gotta love April numbers. Is what he's hitting with a double and a home run. The pitch. There's a fly ball to left. Matthews is there. 2 out. Tim Wallach, who was struggling. 091, a homer and 2 RBIs. 11 at-bats. Small sample size. The pitch. Here's a fly ball deep to left. Back goes Matthews. In the corner, he makes the grab. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1.5, it's Chicago 3, Montreal nothing. Sean Dunston will be the batter. 3 for 9 on the year. 333. No homers or RBI. Steve Rogers, in that calamity of a first inning, threw 23 pitches. You would have thought it would have been more. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball or fly ball right back to Rogers. 1 out. Scott Sanderson, the batter, in 85. 065 average. No homers and an RBI. Struck out 17 times. That's what the Expos are hoping for. Ground ball to third while he throws the first 2 out. Bob Dernier, the batter. Bob singled and scored his first time up. And he'll put one in the gap this time. That's at least one. And he is safe at second from the throw from Whittingham. Just beat it out. So a double for Dernier. 2 hits for him today. And now bring up Ryan Sandberg, who singled and scored in the first. Sandberg flies one to center. Whittingham is there, and that's the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 2, it's the Cubs 3, the Expos nothing. So Sanderson takes to the hill after a very efficient second inning at 22 pitches for the 2. Rogers at 39 for his 2. Fitzgerald, Rogers, and Raines for Montreal here in the third. Fitz, 250 on the year, 3 for 12. And he swings and misses on an 0-2 pitch, strike 3. Steve Rogers, the batter. Rogers is 0 for 1 on the year. Went 2 for 14 on the real season. And he grounds a base hit up in the gap. Not a grounder. He'll go to second on the double. Dernier just wasn't any way to get him. So the Expos have their second hit, and it's the pitcher. Tim Raines, 0 for 1. 1 out here in the third. He grounds one to Sanderson. Throw to first, 2 out for Whittingham, who's 0 for 1. And Sanderson gets him below the belt with strike 3. So that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Expos strand 1. And the Cubs lead 3-0. Gary Matthews had an RBI double and scored his first time up. Relied on Rogers to the moment. 2 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He has not walked or struck out anybody. And as soon as you do that, Matthews takes a full count high for ball 4. Leon Durham, RBI single in the first. Matthews not a threat to go anywhere. Cubs lead 3-0 here in the third. Ground ball to second. Laws only plays to first in time. Matthews goes to second. Fielder's choice there. 1 out for Moreland, who was retired his first time up. And it's a balk. You heard the umpire said dead ball. Rogers did not come to a full stop. And so after a momentary conversation, everyone goes back to the dugout, and Matthews is on third. Expos stay back. Moreland flies one to center, deep and off the wall. Matthews scores. Moreland is on with a double, and the Cubs lead 4-0. And that will bring up Ron Say, who singled his first time up. Say grounds one to Brooks. Throw to first. Just got him. Moreland moves to third. Say probably could have gotten out of the box, but he hit it so deep in the hole that he almost beat it out despite his slow speed. Jody Davis was retired his first time up. Still a light rain, 62 degrees, no wind. I don't think there's any danger of this game being stopped. Just kind of a cold, mushy day here at Wrigley. Davis grounds lines one into the gap, and he's on with a double. So that will score Moreland, and the Cubs lead 5-0. I can't see Rogers being long for this game. Dunston is 0 for 1. The way the game draws, you don't see the ball fly in the air, and so when I'm miscalling what I'm thinking of ground balls in there, it's what the game is showing you. So Can't do much about that. As we said, Dunston's 0 for 1. The Cubs lead 5-0 here in the third. And he'll put one in for a single. Davis will hold at third with 2 out. And Scott Sanderson will bat. He's 0 for 1. Sanderson grounds one to Brooks, throws across to Dreesen, that's the inning, but not before the Cubs put 2 more on the board with 3 hits and no errors. After 3, Cubs 5, Expos nothing. So Scott Sanderson will face Dawson, Dreesen, and Brooks. Dawson singled his first time up, one of the 2 Expo hits. And this time he'll single in the hole. And so that's how the Expos start the fourth. Dreesen, the batter, is 0 for 1. Dawson not a threat to steal, at least off of Sanderson. Dreesen pops it up. Dunston goes by the bag at second. 1 out. Gibby Brooks is 0 for 1. He pops it up. Moreland goes in. Durham goes out. Durham on the grass makes it 2. 2 out for Vance Law. 0 for 1. And he draws a walk. That's the first walk given up by Sanderson. He doesn't walk many. Tim Wallach, the batter, 0 for 1. So Dawson on second, Law on first. 5-0 Cubs here in the fourth. And Wallach puts one down the line and left. Matthews goes over, but it's foul. And the count goes to 0-2. The pitch grounded to short. Dunston throws to second for the force, and that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 3, the Cubs 5, or 3.5, the Cubs 5, Montreal nothing. Bob Dernier, the batter. Bob is 2 for 2 with a run scored and a double. It'll be Dernier, Sandberg, and Matthews as Rogers starts his 3rd time through the Cubs lineup. And he gets it on the outside corner and goes down looking on a 1-2 pitch. Rogers, 3 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned, a walk and a strikeout. Sandberg is 1 for 2. Rhino has singled and scored. And he will single into the hole at second. And his reaches 5-0 here. 10th hit now for the Cubs, bringing up Gary Matthews, who has walked and doubled, 1 for 1, scored twice, and has an RBI. And he swings and foul tips it into Fitzgerald's glove on a 2-2 pitch. 2 out on the off-speeder by Steve Rogers. Now we'll face Leon Durham. Durham has singled and has an RBI, 1 for 2. Sandberg goes, and they will not throw. Sandberg has the steal. The Cubs have 2 steals now on the year. Durham pops one up. Winningham is there in center, makes the grab for the out. 1 run, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They strand 1. 4 down in the books. It's 5-0 Chicago. As Mike Fitzgerald steps to the plate, we'll tell you the Expos have no runs on 3 hits and no errors. They've stranded 4. The Cubs have 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors, and they've stranded 5. Fitzgerald flies one to left. Matthews doesn't even have to move. 1 out. Rogers doubled his last time up, 1 for 1. But let's see if he stays in the game at 85 pitches and 5 earned runs. He does, and flies one to right center. Dernier is there, 2 out. Raines, the batter, 0 for 2. He drops a bunt. Say has it, flows to first. Sandberg's there in time for the out. So a perfect 5th for Sanderson. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home at Wrigley. 5-0, sweet home Chicago. Keith Moreland will lead us off. Ron Say and Jody Davis to follow, and Sean Dunston, should anyone reach. Rogers at 85 pitches, 10 hits through 4 innings. Sanderson through 5 is throwing 63. And Moreland grounds one to first. Dreesen flips to Rogers, 1 out. Ron Say now up, 1 for 2 with a single. He looks at strike 3 on a full count on the black. Breaking ball, Third strikeout for Rogers. 2 out for Davis, who has doubled and has an RBI. Gives him 4 on the year. Davis grounds one to short. Brooks throws. Not in time. Davis has no speed. It must have hit a rock or something. So Dunston will bat. He's 1 for 2 with a single. He grounds one to Brooks. He throws to second for the force, and that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We played 5. Chicago 5, Montreal 0. As Herm Winningham steps to the box, we want to remind you that this and every game, we'll pick the Studebaker Player of the Game. Don't forget to go to your local Studebaker dealer and save the best cars made for 1985. Studebaker, your vision of the future. Herm Winningham is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Sanderson has been brutally efficient. 63 pitches through 5 innings and allowing the 3 hits. He has a walk and struck out 2. Winningham swings and misses at strike 3. So that's the 3rd strikeout. 1-2 count. Andre Dawson, the batter, he's 2 for 2. And Dawson grounds one to say, throw to first in time. Dan Dreesen, the batter. Dan is 0 for 2. And he draws a walk. Second walk given up by Sanderson. Huey Brooks, the batter. Huey is 0 for 2. And there's a single to right. Dreesen goes to third. Brooks will hold it first. So runners on the corners. The first time the Expos have really threatened Sanderson and the Cubs. And here's Vance Law, who had the big game yesterday with 4 RBIs. He has walked and been retired, so he's 0 for 1. And he'll single to center. Brooks will go to third. The run will score, and it's 5-1. So Tim Wallach will bat now. Timmy's 0 for 2. And he'll fly one back to center. Back goes to near. That's going to be an out on the track. So that will be the day for Rogers. They will bring in Dan Schatzeder, and we'll allow that to happen. Don't have a line on Rogers. We'll get it to you in the postgame show. Actually, we can do this right now. 5 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, all earned. No homers. He walked 1 and struck out 3. Sanderson is at 83 pitches. He'll probably go. They're trying to milk him into the 8th. So Dan Schatzeder, who pitched yesterday, comes on. He should be good for as long as the Expos need him. In that 1 inning, he allowed 1 hit, no runs, and nothing else. Sanderson will bat. Scott is 0 for 2. And he'll watch strike 3 on the outside corner. So Schatzeder gets his first strikeout of the year on a 2-2 pitch, and that'll bring up Bob Dernier. Dernier bunts, and he reaches on a single. The Expos have been playing in at the corners for most of Dernier's at-bats. They played up back, and Dernier took advantage. Fitzgerald just couldn't get to it in time. Dernier can fly. So here's Sandberg. Rhino is 2 for 3, 2 singles and a run scored. The pitch, there's a base hit to right. Dernier stops at second. Sandberg stops at first. Gary Matthews, the batter. And the Cubs, runners on first and second with 1 out. Sarge is 1 for 2 with a double. He has scored twice and walked. Has an RBI, his second RBI of the year. And he takes ball 4. They are loaded for Leon Durham. 1 for 3 with a single. And an RBI, his second of the year. So it's Dernier on third, Sandberg on second, Matthews on first. The pitch, that will be a base hit. Dernier scored. Here comes Sandberg. Matthews will hold. Here's the throw, not in time. So it's 7-1 Cubs. Durham on first, Matthews on second. Keith Borland, the batter, 1 for 3 with a double. An RBI and a run scored. And he flies to center. Winningham is there. 2 out. Everyone goes back. Ron Say now 1 for 3. Hitting .357 now. Single and a strikeout. And he'll line out to Hubie Brooks, and that's the inning. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, a stray and 2, 6 in the books. Chicago 7, Montreal 1. So Sanderson will return for the 7th inning. Mike Fitzgerald will be the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And there's a ground ball to Sandberg. Throw the first one out. Keep doing that, and you go the distance, my friend. Can't imagine Chassiter would pit here. But he does and strikes out. An 0-2 pitch on the black. Or 1-2 pitch on the black. He watches strike 3, so 2 out. For Tim Raines, who's 0 for 3. 7-1 Chicago, 2 outs in the top of the 7th. The pitch. Here's a fly ball to right. Moreland backs up a step and makes the grab. No runs, no hits, no errors. You hear Harry warming up for the 7th inning stretch. Chicago 7, Montreal 1. We've got a little swirling wind now after Harry finishes. Still, nice day, 65 degrees. But rainy, off and on through the game. Jody Davis will bat. The Chicago catcher is 2 for 3 with a single and a double and an RBI. Grounder to second. Law throws the Dreesen 1 out. Sean Dunston the batter. Sean is 1 for 3 with a single. Sanderson will bat. He's 2 up next. They can probably get 1 more out of him. And if someone reaches down without a double play, Bob Dernier would bat. There's a fly ball to deep left. Back goes Raines. It is off the wall. Dunston has a double. So Sanderson now. Infield at the corner as they're playing for the bunt. And Sanderson obliges right to the pitcher. Throw to first in time. The sacrifice works. Fitzgerald grabbed it. Beg your pardon. Still a good sacrifice. There's 2 out now for Bob Dernier, who is 3 for 4. He singled twice and doubled. He scored twice. The pitch. There's an RBI single up the middle. So it's 8-1 now, as the Cubs continue to rack Chassiter. Ryan Sandberg has singled 3 times today. He's 3 for 4 and has scored twice. And he will single for a 4th time as Dernier goes to 3rd on the single to right. 17 hits today for the Cubs. Gary Matthews has one of those 17. 1 for 2 with a double. He's walked twice and scored twice. He has an RBI. There's a fly ball to left. Raines is there, and that's the inning. But the Cubs put 1 more on the board with 3 hits and no errors. After 7, it's 8-1 Chicago. Well, the Cubs bats were in good shape Friday's game. They stranded a ton of runners. Today, they put 17 hits on the board with 8 runs, and they've still stranded 10. This could actually be worse. Scott Sanderson has held Montreal to 1 run on 5 hits. The Expos have stranded 6. Herm Winningham, 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. I wonder when you start to see the pinch hit brigade now for Montreal. Fortuitous timing. How about right now? Here comes Terry Francona. Francona is 0 for 3 with a strikeout on the year. And he'll ground 1 to Dunston. Throw to first in time. Andre Dawson, you don't want to pinch hit for him. Single twice, 2 for 3. I'm wrong. Miguel Delaney. No. Why would you pinch hit for him? There's a fly ball to center. Dernier watches that hit the ivy. And so Dawson has a double. See, you don't pinch hit for your best hitter. Jeez. So Dawson's not one of the double. It bounced off the ivy, which is certainly nowhere near green yet, just a withered vine. Dan Dreesen. Well, if you want to pinch hit for him, that's fine. 0 for 2. A walk and a run scored. In fact, he scored the only run the Expos have today. He swings and misses on an 0-2 pitch, strike 3. A fastball for Sanderson. That's 5 for him on the day. Hubie Brooks, the shortstop, is 1 for 3 with the single. There's a fly ball to left. Matthews comes in and makes the grab. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 8. Chicago 8. Montreal 1. 7.5. Not 8. Leon Durham has singled twice and driven in 3. Part of the 17-hit barrage from the Expos. Schatzeder comes out for his 3rd inning. He's taken 1 for the team in 2 innings. He's allowed 6 hits, walked 1 and struck out 1, and 3 runs, all earned. Durham flies 1 to center. Delaney goes back and makes the grab. Delaney comes into play center. Just a below-average arm, not terrible, not great, and decent range. Keith Moreland, the batter. Keith is 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored and an RBI. Grounds 1 to Law. Throw to first in time. 2 out. Ron Say, the batter. Ronnie is 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Fly ball to left. Raines goes back. Turns and watches it go. A home run for Say, and it's 9-1 Chicago. Jody Davis, the batter, 2 for 4. Single, a double, and RBI. Fly ball to left center. Raines is there, and that's the inning. For Dan Schatzeder, this will not be a performance that you'll read about in Baseball Digest as part of his best day in baseball. Whew. We go to the 9th. Chicago 9-1. We're going to give Sanderson a chance to finish this. Vance Law, the batter, 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Do we want to change anybody? Not up 8 runs. UL Washington will pinch hit, and we'll allow that. UL is 0 for 2. Toothpick chomping shortstop. Flies a single into the left. So that's how the Expos 9th starts. Sanderson is now over his expected pitch limit. We'll give him Wallach and see what happens. Timmy's 0 for 3. There's a fly ball to left center. Matthews is there. Makes the grab 1 out. The Cubs, by the way, with this win, if they do hang on, will be still in first place. They came into the day at 2-1. The rest of the division, all of it, was 1-2. Love April. Mike Fitzgerald 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Let's see if they let him back. They do, and there's a line out to Sandberg, 2 out. 2 outs for a pinch hitter, I'm sure. I can't imagine they would let Schatzeder hit. Jim Wolford, who was a pinch hitter utility player for Montreal for a while. 192 in the real 85 with a homer and 15 RBIs. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. UL Washington, the runner on first. The Expos down to their last at-bat. And he flying out to Denier. So the Cubs win. An easy one today in the rain and the gloom of Chicago, 9-1. Real quick, because it just wasn't that much of a game. 3 in the first for the Cubs, 2 in the third, 2 in the sixth, 1 in the 7th and 8th. Montreal had 1 in the 6th. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the Expos. 9 runs, 18 hits, no errors for the Cubs. Your MVP is going to be Scott Sanderson. I don't know what the game pick, but our Studebaker MVP is Scott Sanderson. 9 innings, 7 hits. A run, it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5 through 126 pitches. And the computer said he should have gone 113. So these two teams have split non-competitive games. We played this one in a brisk 2 hours and 44. And so don't forget to join us tomorrow for... Oh, I should probably give you the scores for the other games played today, shouldn't I? Let's do that. The other day games today. The Yankees behind Ron Guidry beat Cleveland 6-5. The Tigers beat the Royals 3-2. The Mets beat the Reds 3-2. The Red Sox beat the White Sox 4-3. Joakim Boy goes to 2-0 on the year. Jack Morris goes to 2-0 with that win over KC. And Oakland beat California 6-2. Everything else is under the lights. All right, join us tomorrow for Game 3 of this 3-game series. Hopefully, it looks to have one that will be competitive. because, that would be nice. The final score from Wrigley Field, the Cubs 9, the Expos 1. We'll talk to you later.